Hi everyone, this is Melanie, psychosomatic therapist and teacher of chakra philosophy for business and the modern world. And I just wanted to jump on to share a little bit about the things that I've been posting lately and also how important it is for you to learn how to navigate through the times that we're seeing unfold. There is a lot happening in the world right now, and I'm not going to focus on that too much. I'm going to focus more on what you need to do in your internal world to actually be able to navigate through those spaces. This is what I teach in everything. It's the foundations of what I teach is emotional intelligence, and that is what's in my level 1 course. I talk about it in the business chakra meetups. I talk about it when I talk about business strategy. The ability to connect to your emotions and actually understand what you're feeling is your compass to know what action you need to take next. The biggest issue that we have in this world right now, and why I feel all of these things are playing out, is that we have created quite a masculine dominant culture in society. That has nothing to do with men and women. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the way that we have to turn up and be in this world is quite masculine, particularly in the Western world countries. What this means is that it's a culture of taking action, of structure, of control, and of giving. There's not a lot of sustainability in that. No matter if you concentrate more on feminine or masculine energy, if one is way too out of balance than the other, it is eventually going to crash and fall. And that is what I believe is what's happening right now, is that all of these structures are starting to either fall down or they're becoming intense because the desire to control is actually getting to the point where it's out of control. And so I also believe that there's no sustainability in it. It will crash at some point. Unfortunately, a lot of us are going to feel and experience what it means to be in these types of control situations, and we'll have to live through it, basically. So what I want to share with you about living through it is by you actually understanding what it means to be more in your feminine energy, which is all about creativity, flexibility, connection to your emotions, and your ability to receive. If you are masculine dominant in your makeup, and I talk about this in face split analysis, I talk about it in face reading, the business chakra system, in everything. You can see it in your body if you are masculine dominant, right? And what that means is that you're in a state of wanting to be in control and controlling everything around you. You find it difficult to connect to your emotions and be able to actually make decisions from that place. Instead, your mind takes over and that logical action comes into play. It has worked in the past to get through life and to make things happen, but it's actually going to be detrimental to you, your health, what it is you're trying to create, through navigating, issues and problems that will arise in front of you if you continue to stay in that more masculine driven type of energy. The reason why I really am talking about this is that the more that I do my workshops, have face readings, work with people one-on-one, do my business chakra meetups, everything that I have on offer to support you, is that it's so evident how the masculine energy has been so dominant in us and how important it is for you to really understand your emotional self. You understand that you don't just feel good or bad or angry. There are subtle emotions that sit underneath that, and by learning what those emotions are, that is how you're actually going to know the way to get through. Emotions are connected to frequency. Frequency is connected to vibration, and depending on your vibration is basically how easy life is for you or how caught up you can become in circumstance and what is playing out around you. And I don't want to dismiss what's happening in the world right now. It's awful. I'm not about they call it spiritual bypassing. I'm not about emotional bypassing. But what I am about is learning how to feel and to understand what your emotions are so you can actually get through it a lot faster than what potentially could play out if you were to dismiss those emotions. The way to connect spiritually is when you're opened up emotionally. When we have inner resistance within ourselves to do our spiritual practice, to do the things that we know we need to do to look after ourselves, be that the body, the mind, the spirit, or your emotional self, that resistance is what you need to look at, not what's going on around you. Focus on yourself right now. It's really, really important. I had someone just yesterday ask and say, is it easier, maybe it's easier for someone to connect to spirit when they're in Bali compared to, say, somewhere in Australia or somewhere like that else? And my answer to that is that it's not. I've been here in Bali plenty of times, be it before the pandemic, during the pandemic, where I found it really difficult to connect, and it's because the resistance was within myself. It has nothing to do with the environment around you. I've heard the most harrowing stories of people being in really, really tough circumstance, but they're still able to connect and connect to their higher self, connect to source, connect to their spirit, to be able to keep their vibration high, which is actually the thing that has allowed them to be released from whatever it is that they were caught up in. If you are doing spiritual work, if you are in the realms of helping other people, it is so important that you deepen your spiritual practice right now. I cannot reiterate that enough. I feel like I've kind of been whispering it to the people I've been working with and talking to, but that whisper really needs to become a lot louder now. I'm actually talking about throat chakra tomorrow in the business chakra meetup. Throat chakra is about truth, and it's about being able to communicate your truth and what it is that you believe in. To be able to do your work, whatever your realm of work is, you need to start pushing the boundaries on what it is you already know that you can already help people with, but you need to take yourself and your practice even further. That's because you are the leaders that are helping other people come along the way. It is possible to accelerate ascension right now. I totally believe that, and I've heard it and I've seen it, and I'm getting the message of that loud and clear. So make sure that you are operating from the right space when you are helping people. Make sure you are operating from a high vibrational space where you are clean, your energy is clean, where you are actually of support to help others lift themselves up, because otherwise you're going to get really bogged down and you are going to feel things in your body, be that sickness or illness or whatever that is. Even just the other day, I dislocated my toe hitting my bed leg, and I know, and it was my ambition toe, and it was really for me to slow down because I've got way too much in my head, and we just cannot do that right now. We have to make sure that we're operating from a space of calmness and one of high vibration, no matter what it is that we're doing. So that will mean sometimes you actually need to down tools and just come back and maintain yourself. Maintenance is so important. How are you speaking to yourself? How are you treating yourself? Are you eating the right foods that are actually going to make you feel good? All of these things count in terms of maintaining a really good inner world so you can be as much support and help to those around you. You may have noticed that I've been talking a lot about social media and actually looking at the ethics behind business and deciding what platforms you're going to operate from. I am still posting some things. Obviously, this video will be on my social media platforms as well. I'm still posting on it because it's a strong message that needs to be heard and that people need to understand. I understand the resistance around leaving such platforms because there is an element of fear of like, how am I going to attract customers to my work? How am I going to make money with what it is that I do? Your energetics is more so important than your strategy. The strategy still needs to be there, but the way that you turn up with your frequency and your energy is much more important than the strategy. The strategy piece, you need to get really savvy. If you are operating your business purely from Facebook or Instagram, you do not have a newsletter list, you are not capturing people's email addresses, you need to really stop and have a rethink and look at what it is that you're creating, because basically you're creating a business that could be taken away from you at any time. You have to be really aware of that. It doesn't matter if you have a newsletter list of 10 people or you have a newsletter list of 20,000 people. you are still able to service, give value, and sell whatever it is, your products or services, and what it is that you do. Please be aware that social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram, it is so transparent what they are here to do. They are made to make people addicted to their platform. It provides a platform for people to start bullying other people and play out on their bad behavior that they need to look at. It is so detrimental to mental health, be that young people, men and women, however that plays out for them, be that adults, be that business people. I've definitely been caught up in that in the past, and you do not have to jump around like a puppet and play with these algorithms to try and get your content out. It is not necessary. You do not need to do that, and it is really time to take a hard look and see where you're putting your energy into. If you are investing advertising money into Instagram or Facebook, you need to know you are feeding the beast that is actually creating all of this chaos in the world. And I'm not even kidding when I say that. It is so part of what is going on right now, and you have to really step back and look at what are the ethics that I have in my business. Where am I going to invest what it is that I have to, or where am I going to invest my money to create a thriving business, and know there are other ways outside of social media to do that. Part of that is you being in a great frequency. Part of that is you switching your light on. When I switch my light on, I actually do less and more things happen in my business. It is really important for you to understand that concept and to not fall back into the mindset of the way to do business is through Facebook. They have trained us very well over the last decade to do that. I started my Facebook business page back in 2012. And along the way, there have been all sorts of things that have happened, and for sure it helped me in my business in the first place, but they have trained us really well to think that this is where we need to be, and it's not. You really need to rethink how you're going to communicate and what responsibility you have for your communities and for your audiences to make sure that their mental, emotional, physical well-being is good. Finally, the last post that I did around the money situation for Russians in Bali, and really looking at how in control organizations, governments, banks are in cahoots with how we can access our money is really important. I didn't post that to create fear. I didn't post that, to upset anybody in any particular way. I post these things so you can actually start to see what the bigger picture is. Underneath that post, there is a video that it's a very good video that just explains the bigger picture. It can be difficult to take these things in after we've been through so much over the last 2 years, but it's important to keep your eyes and ears open and your mind open to what potentially is going on. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to happen, as long as we're all aware. We must be aware of what is happening to be able to respond to what's going on in a way when it's unraveled or presented to us that is actually going to be of service to us and not to them. Please make sure that you educate yourself. It's really, really important right now. Okay, I've just got off my soapbox. I just care about you all so much, and the way forward from here is to really understand how you're feeling on the inside so you can create the dream that you want on the outside. That is really how it's going to happen now. It isn't about hustle. It isn't about, working 24/7 like we used to. It actually isn't. And if you continue to do that, you are going to crash and burn. What it is it's about slowing down to speed up, understanding how you're feeling on the inside, and then what to actually do with those emotions. As I said, I teach about this in my level 1 course. We go through every single chakra energy, what emotions are related to that chakra energy, what that means in your life. We put it into context in real life in terms of what can play out, and then how to actually shift those negative emotions to the positive ones. So it's not all about, let's all look at all the negative stuff. It's about how to maintain yourself in a more positive frame of mind no matter what's happening. Knowing that your frequency is going to help you to basically slip through the cracks. It's going to create doors of opportunity opening for you. It's going to help you lift up other people, inspire other people, and for us to get everything back on track. As I said, I hope this has helped you in some way. Please reach out at any time if you need any assistance, and I am here to be of service to you as much as I possibly can. My business chakra meetups, as I said, they're pay as you can or free. I did this on purpose to make them as accessible to everybody as possible. I do other things. I have online courses, I do mentorships, I also have a lot of free training on my website. Go and check it out. I'm here to really support you, and let's all do this together. All right, I love you. Mwah. See ya. Bye.